Hello everybody and welcome to my new channel. As you can see, my setup is not ready yet, but I couldn't wait any longer to share with you my new Notion template. This is the CSM dashboard WorkOS or second brain. It's not only for customer success managers, but also for account managers, project managers, and anyone with customer success facing. This template is based on the free version of Notion, so there's no need to have a paid subscription for everything you would see today. Let's jump right into it. So as you can see, this is the template and it is based on the Para method. If you're not aware of Para method, you can go online, YouTube, and look for resources. There's plenty of good resources over there. You can learn a little bit about the Para method. Para method was introduced by Tiago Forte. It stands for Projects, Area, Resources, and Archive. Basically, it's the easiest way to organize your digital life. And based on this one and a lot of help from videos from experts like Thomas Frank, I created this template for you. As you can see on the left-hand side, this is where we start, just below the clock. We will start on the left-hand side below for all the quick capture buttons and the links. And then we go to the main sections in the middle. So we have the home section in here. It's a sync box, and this is a quick access to all the pages that we have. Right below this we have the quick capture, which is buttons that will take you to the relevant database or the relevant table in order to add a new task, projects, resources, support ticket, client contacts, and such. Below you would see the topics. Topic is just in like a hashtag. It's an easier way to tag your notes, your resources in one place, and then just by clicking on the relevant topic you will get every single resources and notes. Just below that, the notebooks, again another easy way to get the notes into one notebook, and then you will have everything. It can be either by topic, it can be either by interest, and it can be by customer, or whatever notebook you would like to create. Below that, the OKRs and the KPIs, which are your measurements. Either you are receive it from your manager, or it's something for your personal growth. You can track your progress with these. Let's go to the main section. You would see in the main section we have the inbox. Inbox is the status, or the automatic status for anything which is new, project, tasks, tickets, and so on. So it will show right in here, so you would know you need to deal with it, you need to assign it, or you need to work on it. Under the inbox you would see there is few views. It's the tasks inbox, the project inbox, ticket inbox, and then the two last one are tasks based on the Eisenhower method, based on the importance and the urgency. You might see tasks that you need to do first because they are also important and urgent, and then you would see the decide when to do it or schedule the task is needed. So this is within the inbox. Just below you would see the areas. Again, this is part of the Para method. You don't need to use it really, but it's just a nice way to organize everything that you have within this dashboard. And being customer success for the last 15 years and a customer centric and customer facing roles for over 20 years, I identify roughly 5 areas which are more dedicated to the work that we CSMs are doing. It is the client and relationship engagement, the product expertise that you might need or want to have handy, account planning and strategy, the customer support and issue resolutions, metrics, and I added another one for personal growth, everything which is not under this one, which is more connected to you and your personal growth. You can align or assign to that area. Below that we have the clients, and as you can see at the moment the clients are shown by the risk. we have the view for all clients, and as you can see, it's a view board one. I think it's a gallery, sorry. And each one has its own properties, which can be changed, obviously. So you would get, first look, you understand who is the customer and what are the important things that you might need to address. Below that, you have the projects. And again, projects are by status, like inbox. This is just a project that we created and we didn't deal with it yet. It needs to be dealt. So by the way, if I'll go right up to the project inbox, you would see that project one is there, belongs to an area of client and relationship, and you would see that it's in here. You can also add right in here in the properties, let's add the client as well. So we would also see the client. I didn't do it, right? I did. Properties and clients, here we go. So now we also see the client in here. Planned, which is not started yet, but it's planned and ready to kick off. In progress, done, and everything which might be on hold. Below that, we have the task. Just maybe one thing to talk about the views. We have projects by client. If you have more than one project for client, and by type, you can actually look on different projects. Projects can be almost anything that you would like to have. It can be a testimony, it can be an EBR, it can be an onboarding, obviously, and it can be even a use case or feedback, everything that you would like to have when you have a start and an end, and responsibilities and task. You can manage it under the projects, and then you can also see by the type. So type of the project is onboarding. You have 2 customers, or we have 2 customers on onboarding, and also the same in here. So these are for the projects. Below tasks belong to a project, but if you want to focus on the task itself, then we can see what we have today. Task for this week, if we have all tasks as a view, and then task by project, all the tasks that we have based on the projects that we have. If we would go back into projects and let's look on Netflix in here. If I open this one, I can also see its task in here within. So this is also how it's correlated. The task has also another view, which is a calendar. You can see it by the weekly task and a monthly task as well, if we would have the task in here. Below, we would see renewal, and this renewal can be either by a gallery, a card with all the information that we need, the ARR, the products that they use, how many days for renewal, -44, not so great. The segment, if it has any risk, obviously, and if it's an ICP, yes or no, and you can see it also by a list or as a list. Below that, we have resources. Resources is just an easy way that Paramethod is addressing to collect information that you might need or you would like to view or review it in a later stage. You stumble in a nice YouTube video, an article, a website, anything that you might need for your work or personal, you can create a resource, and then you can tag the resource and review it. So if it's something that you thought it's a good for you, but at the end it's not something that you would like to have, you can obviously archive or delete. If it's reviewed, change the status to reviewed, and you can also add it as a favorite. So like in here, there is a good article of how to calculate NRR. This is how you do it with the formula, and also if it has a link, you can also add the link in here. I review, I actually think I need it, it's been reviewed, and also I would like to have it as a favorite. It is part of the area for metrics, and therefore it is based there. And now it's no longer into the review, it's also in the not in the reviewed, it will show us in the favorites. Just below we have the notes. The notes, again, it's an easy way to collect information. It can be a meeting note, it can be any note that you would like to or think of that you need to do, not as a task, but something to remind to yourself. You can gather all these notes into a notebook, and also tag them into topics and so on. Below we have the ticketing system, and as you can see in here, we have by priority, open tickets, work in progress, and all tickets as a list like that. I know that you might think that you don't need a ticketing system because you're not support, or you have your support department that's in charge of it. In some startups that I worked for, they didn't have a really established or mature support system. We did work with Notion or with Coda, and we actually created this support system in here. It's just an easy way because everything is on the same place, and the correlation is actually very easy, and it actually serves us very, very well. You don't need to use it, but sometimes a good practice to capture your tickets within your customers. And although you have it in a different system, it's good to do a follow-up in here, and something that will remind you things that needs to be dealt with. So this is the dashboard. This is the first page. Let's just jump very quickly into the main one. I will not go through each one of them. Most of them are self-explained. So let's just jump into the main one. The main one would be an account, so all your clients. And this page is, as you can see, show the accounts, show the projects for that account as a calendar. By the way, Notion has a new app called Calendar. And if we're going to link it with a Google Calendar, we would also can receive meetings and everything, events that are there. And let's create just a new account so you would see how to start. So this template will start with an account. If you don't have this account, then you need to create this account, create the projects, the tasks. If you have contacts, then create the contacts for this account and build then the whole ecosystem for yourself. So let's create a new one. It's either by clicking on the box in here or the blue button right in here, the one that says new, or from a quick capture, we can create a new client just below, right in here. Okay, so let's click on a new one and see the information that we receive. First one will be the name. For sure, Acme is a good one. If it's an ICP, yes. An ARR, let's add some zeros. Contact list, if I don't have anyone that actually is in this list, we can create one. So let's create a name. We have John Doe. No, we have John Da. We have John Dory. But now we have John Doe as well. So let's create the new John Doe within the system. And now it's also aligned in here. Who is the account executive? Who is the CSM? And so on. Let's create the contract today. And let's add the end, which will be in a year. So you can also see immediately that it created the contract duration for 12 months and days to renewal 365. And this is a formula. It will just tick down every day. If you have an EBR deck, you can upload it in here, or you can just show the link. Go live if the customer would like to go on a specific day. He wants everything to be ready. It's a good thing to mention in here. Since it's a new customer, we're not sure if it's likely to renew, expand, or churn. We can leave it for a more mature stage within the customer journey. The region, let's just choose one. To Mexico. Logo, if you have, so it will look just nice like this. Product, which product they are actually purchasing, could be only one, two, or three, or services as well. Risk levels, it's a new one. We will choose low risk, and the segment. There's a whole way of new way for me to change to do the segmentation. I used a very well-known and a little bit old way of how to segment your customers. If you would like to know a little bit more about how to segment a new way of segmentation, leave a comment and I might do a video on this one as well. At the moment, let's go with what mainly the world know and familiar with. We will use that as an enterprise. stage, we are doing an onboarding, so we will choose onboarding. Do we have a success plan? Obviously. Did we agree with the customer? Obviously. And also add the file as well. We don't have any risk, so risk category can stay empty, and we can then look into the other stuff. So obviously it's just a new customer, so there's no churn. And if there is, the churn date is when they decided to churn. And the reason is always good to keep in order to do your churn analysis, which is a very good practice. If you would have an already project, it will show up in here. If we have tickets, it will show up in here. But since we don't, then it doesn't show. But we can add also projects from here if we like. So now we have a new customer. We don't have the logo, so it wouldn't look as nice as the others. But here is the customer with the information that we need. Let's add the ICP, because I always think an ICP is always good to look at. Also, likely to is a good thing to add when we know more of information. Here we go, and now it's in here. So this is the account. Now we have projects, and again, you can create a new project in here. You can create a new project within the quick capture button, and you can also go back to the page and open that, or go back to the customer and just add a project. So let's create a new project. Let's call it Acme and onboarding. I know that we have it in here. This is an old one. I'm not going to use it, but I will create a complete new one within there. And now we have it. So it's in here, as you can see, it's been tagged as inbox status, so it will show up in the inbox as well. And we can open this one. Let's just put it to the side peak, and we can also create this project. So it's an Acme, it's an onboarding, so therefore it's an onboarding. It will be on the client relationship and engagement. Actually, it can also be in the product knowledge and expertise, but let's keep it in the client engagement. When it starts, next, when it ends, it should end after 1 month. So let's do 25th of March. There we go. And progress, since we don't have any tasks yet in this project, so the progress is still empty. And if we want to archive it later, we can. If we have a contact person, we can add this person in here as well. Since we don't have yet tasks for this project, we can also create tasks in here in all the other ways. New task in the quick capture button or within the page of tasks. So let's create a new in here, and let's create a task. A new one would be prepare a task, an onboarding plan, and we will create a new one. And by open it in here, we will also create some other stuff like the due date when we want actually to do it. We want to do it, let's say, start to prepare on the 22nd. And the deadline would be obviously on the 25th, because it's when we need to kick in. When I want to do it on the day would be any tag that I would like to, and it can be from the morning or when I have the time, as and when. Day of the week, which will be automatically formulated, and notes you can add as well, like whatever notes you would like to do. So notes 1 for Acme onboarding, and you create a new one, and in here you can write whatever you would like to. You can add it back to the project, you can add it back into the notebook. So let's close it and go back to the projects again. So now you would see we have the project itself, we have the task, and since the task is only for next week, we would see it in here. It shows us the due date and not the due date, so the deadline. So this is how you create a customer, this is how we create a project, this is how we create a task, and this is how also create a note within that project. So this is the main thing for the para method, how to organize things. Let's just look into the task, because I mentioned the Eisenhower method. And as you can see, everything that you look into a task, let's open this task back and look into two items. Is it important and is it urgent? The task urgency will formulate automatically. So if we use is it important and not urgent, you will have to decide when you're going to do it. If you click on the urgent as well, it will turn into the do first. And if it's urgent but not important, it will be delegate. If none of them, then it will be need to be deleted. Okay, so this is also how you create all of this. Let's go back from the task into our home, and we will see a few things. We will see that now we have the Acme onboarding in the inbox, and we have a new client, we have a new project which is supposed to be under onboarding, we have a new task which is under the projects, and it's not today, so we're not going to see it. And if we're going to look into the monthly, we might see it in the 25th of February. So this is the main thing that you will find in here. Anything that you will like also to look at, if you feel that the ticketing system is something that you might use or utilize, then you have all the customer support functionality in here, based on the clients, based on the tickets, and everything that you might need there. If you need anything else, leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to help you to design your own. If it needs to be for your own company and you need to see on a team version, or a leader to see all the CSM, let me know in the comments or let me know by email, and I will be happy to help you. Thank you very much for joining me on this video, and I will see you soon.